Hi, I'm Kevin Tracy of ktracy.com, and well, this video didn't go where I thought it would. I started off thinking that I was going to use different hard liquors as watercolors, but apparently even really dark booze dries almost entirely clear, and after several coats of brandy on the eyes, the color was just barely noticeable and the paper was ready to fall apart. So after wasting a significant amount of what I later found out was an $80 bottle of brandy, along with several shots of tequila and Irish whiskey, I scrapped my plan for alcohol painting and decided instead to use alcohol markers to color page 10 of my coloring book, The MS Paint Comic, Painting North Korea Red, available at Amazon and ktracy.com. Links in the description below. And if you watch a lot of art videos or an artist yourself, when someone on YouTube says alcohol markers, you probably already know what markers they're talking about. That's right, Spectrum Noir. Noir? Anyways, okay, I know you were expecting Copic, but darn it, I'm trying to run a business here, and my mom saw these things on clearance at Joann Fabric, and she knew that we needed them. Anyway, I am not entirely sure why these were even on clearance, and by that I mean it could have been one of several reasons. One possibility is that Joann Fabric simply didn't want to order more and wanted to clear their shelf space. Another possibility is that these things are just really old. The identical set that my mom got for herself was almost completely dried out, only the black still worked as advertised. I thankfully had a lot more luck with these because after my failed alcohol color painting experiment failed miserably, I was running out of time to try anything else. Another possibility is that this is just a really peculiar set of colors. They're sold as the quote-unquote Essentials 6-pack, and although I agree that black is an essential color, I am not so sure about the others. The skin tone in here, EB1, isn't a skin tone I would prefer to use most of the time. It was just too bland for my comic characters and too yellow, almost greenish to have any kind of realistic drawing with them. Plus, there's really nothing you can blend with it. The EB7 that comes with this pack is such a dark brown that it might as well be used as black. And this is a bit strange because the tones BGR1 or Blue-Gray 1 and BGR3, Blue-Gray 3, complement each other really well. And I would have much rather this package come with an EB3 or EB5 instead of this EB7, the really dark brown color. And that gets me to my next point with these. They don't blend well at all compared to other alcohol markers I've tried, specifically the Copic and Bic marking fine tip markers that I used on page 3. It didn't matter if I tried blending these things with the light, using the light marker to kind of move the dark pigment over to the lighter area, or if I just used the blender that came in this pack. In fact, the blender that came with this pack really didn't blend the colors at all, as much as it just lifted the color off the page, but not in a good way. Getting a couple of warm gray markers to match the blue-gray tones would have been really nice. I think it would have balanced out the set very well. To be honest, I kind of wonder whether these are essential colors that are missing in 4 or 5 of their other marker sets. That would explain the peculiar selection here, and why this set was the only set they had on clearance. With that said, each color does blend very well with itself. Compared to water-based markers, you can see the difference very easily. And while the lighter colors did streak a little bit, the black and dark brown leveled up beautifully. I wouldn't mind trying these again with a more complete set or with a set of colors that actually all work together, but this experience just doesn't leave me itching for more Spectrum Noir markers like Copic did when I first used them. And these aren't bad, don't get me wrong. If you're thinking about getting into alcohol-based markers but don't have the budget to try out Copics, this might be a really good brand for you. To be honest, I wish these were around when I was a teenager, or if they were, I wish I knew about them. My sister and I always wanted to expand our art into smooth, even color marker stuff when we were teenagers. However, we were trying to get these results with water-based markers like Crayolas, with absolutely no luck. She even went to art school for a year and never learned about alcohol-based markers. It wasn't until I met a friend in Virginia who used Copics that I learned that there was a special magical marker out there that was stupid expensive but did exactly what we had been searching for all this time. And I never even tried them, I just knew that they were out there. And by that time I was really deep into digital pixel art and heavily self-trained in charcoal and pencil drawing, so there really wasn't a need for me to go out and buy these things even though I had the money at the time. Having seen them in action on the convention circuit, though, this past year, I bought a set of Copic markers for my sister for Christmas because she has been trying to get into marker work again. I told her it was an alcohol-based ink, but it didn't really mean anything for her until she tried it for herself a couple weeks later. She then called me and was completely enthralled with how awesome these markers were. And it was exactly what we had been searching for when we were teenagers, but just didn't know that they existed. Now, before you say, how can you be so stupid and not know that these existed, you have to understand that my sister and I are both in our 30s, and this was back in the dial-up and early broadband era of the internet. It was several years before YouTube, and there was no such thing as online video art tutorials. They just simply didn't exist. Our art training consisted entirely of what the public schools offered and what we figured out for ourselves and then taught to each other. And as you can imagine, anything like an $8 marker simply wouldn't have come up. As teenagers, we certainly couldn't have afforded Copic markers. No way. And although our parents encouraged our art hobby really, really heavily, $8 markers would have been completely out of the question. But something like Spectrum Noir, or this brand at least, which seems to sell about $2 or less per marker when it's on sale, that would have been not only well within our parents' budget, but I think it would have been within our teenager budgets as well. And I do have to wonder how my art career, even the MS Paint comic, would have been different had I had something like this when I was a teenager. No, these things are not Copic markers. Don't misunderstand me here. They're not Copics. But if you have the right colors, I could see you creating some really awesome art with these, especially if you're into that anime-inspired style of art. If you have artistic kids, parents, I'm talking to parents, you're not artistic kid parents, but I mean, maybe you do too, but if you have artistic kids and they know enough about art to voice frustration over streaky markers in their art, or if you see them just stop using markers altogether, this might be a good time to do them a favor and buy them a set of these cheaper alcohol-based markers. My parents didn't know these existed, otherwise I suspect they would have done this for us. For my sister and I, it was at the point where we stopped asking for markers altogether and we just started focusing entirely on colored pencils. I'm almost exclusively on colored pencils. And I'm thinking we were about 11 to 13 years old when that happened. I don't think kids or teenagers even need Copics until they're adults and just really serious about their art. And when that happens, they can buy their own damn markers. Just because kids see YouTubers out there using Copics doesn't mean that they're ready for them. These cheaper brands aren't quite as good, but they're that affordable middle ground between Crayola and Copic. Anyway, my mom did eventually buy these for me, so Mom, thank you very much. Another awesome thing that my mom did for me is subscribe to my YouTube channel. My mom is pretty great, and subscribing is an excellent way to be more like her. It also ensures you can follow up and catch my new videos, which I typically post about twice a week unless I'm doing a comic convention or have some other major responsibility coming up. I post mostly art videos, whether I'm doing some sort of elaborate pixel art or painting something by hand or even messing around with woodworking. Occasionally I'll throw out some random rant videos where I try something new like a product review or unboxing or something maybe even a little more strange. For example, I'm going to be posting a video coming up probably next month about how drinking raw, unpasteurized milk has or hasn't helped my seasonal allergies. The weather's been kind of cool here lately, so I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to probably hold off until early June to make my final decision and provide my final thoughts on the raw milk experiment. But anyways, regardless of what I post, I just like to have fun and hopefully work a smile out of you, if not a good old-fashioned laugh, while also being somewhat informative. So anyways, I appreciate you watching today's video. I hope you like it. If you want to see the finished page in all of its glory, go ahead and go over to ktracy.com and click on the webcomic, and you can see all the past pages that I've colored. And you can also order yourself a copy of the MS Paint comic, Painting North Korea Red, or any other book that I have written, including the MS Paint comic Volume 1 and the MS Paint comic Pixels for Christmas, or my collection of college papers. I have a lot of really cool stuff at ktracy.com. You should go check it out, as well as some other blog posts and things like that. It's all fun. Seriously, go check it out. All right, have a great night or day or whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you again on Friday. I need to work on that ending. Jeesh.